foreign influence, terrorism, possible intervention. This is how China is trying to shape the story of what's happening in Hong Kong.
Very few people in Hong Kong imagine there's going to be full-on Western-style democracy.
The invisible hand from China are getting more visible. They are putting more controls on Hong Kong's autonomy, democracy. Hong Kong is not China.
For the Chinese government, the Hong Kong demonstrators are defying the authority of a communist leadership that cannot tolerate defiance.
They're afraid that it could be very infectious, and they don't want to see such marches in the other parts of mainland China.
Beijing has made thinly veiled threats to send in its military forces, the People's Liberation Army.
Chinese officials are increasingly framing the protests as threats to national security. Video of simulated military exercises carried out by police in mainland China show the protesters as dangerous rioters. CGTN emphasized an incident in which a reporter from the mainland was tied up and beaten by protesters. The next day, many demonstrators apologized for their actions at the airport. CGTN did not report this.
Twitter has now suspended over 200,000 accounts and plans to ban advertisements from state-run media. Facebook has also taken action.
But what's noticeably absent from Chinese reports on Hong Kong? People are kept in the dark about the real reasons for the protests.
How did we get here? What triggered them? And why are they turning chaotic? It all started with the murder of Poon Hiu Wing, a pregnant Hong Kong woman who was ruthlessly strangled by her boyfriend Chen Tong-kai in Taiwan last year. The suspect fled back to Hong Kong after the murder. His killing went unpunished because Hong Kong and the island have no extradition agreement. The case showed that Hong Kong had a legal loophole that needed to be fixed. It was a common revision of existing laws, so why was then Hong Kong plagued by, sometimes violent, protests? Hong Kong is home to thousands of intelligence officers, earning the nickname the Asian Division of CIA. If the law changed, Hong Kong would no longer be a haven for criminals. You might say this is pure speculation, but let's take a look at this NGO. National Endowment for Democracy.
The bill is dead.
But protests didn't stop, getting more violent instead.
We also have funded millions of dollars of programs through the National Endowment for Democracy. So in that sense, the Chinese accusation is not totally false.
The net investments in Hong Kong reached a new high in 2014. Before setting its sights on China, the net destroyed the stability of other countries. Stephen Kinzer, a senior fellow in international and public affairs at Brown University, wrote in the Boston Globe that the net has sought to influence elections in many countries, including Mongolia. It also has built anti-Russia movements in nearby countries. So, do you still think that the protests in Hong Kong are pro-democracy?